Mr. Prasad, do you think that if these numbers indicate anything, do you think that the Karnataka factor does have, in the overall strategy of the Congress, did it have a major impact on Telangana Congress and overall, opinion in Telangana?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to the co-panelists. It's very clear, ma'am, as far as the Telangana people's voice right now, as far as this election is concerned, they are not asking, they are just asking for a change. And the anti-incumbency is not adding to that. Change is nothing but there are certain consistencies where people are not being accepted by the people around. Just like some MLAs, like 45 to 50 people who have been given B forms from BRS, is not been accepted by the Telangana people. So the 50 people's negativity is leading to the party where Congress is enhanced it themselves for the sake of elections and all. So this is not at all the people's verdict towards the Congress government and all. When it really matters to the forming of Congress government is something different, where Karnataka is anti-incumbency and the what you call the 40% corruption and other things are concerned. But if you really look into it, the 45% average consistently maintained by BRS as far as these elections are concerned. But the polling itself is an indicator. When it compared to last time, it is 74 almost, and this time it is 70.63. The 3 to 4% lesser polling is also an indication that there is no such anti-incumbency on the government, where Congress all of a sudden they themselves emerged from third place to second place, which is not at all on the race before 20 to 25 days as far as the elections are concerned.
All right.
Today's emerging themselves to forming a government, always since 2014 itself, 14 and 2018, they have never even crossed 22 seats. All of a sudden, how can they get more than 50 plus seats to forming of a government? In the erroneous circumstances, even if they get 59 also, governor will not call him as a single largest
No,
party.
that is running with it, running away with it. No, Mr. Prasad, I'm going to go issue by issue. So you do think that the Karnataka factor has had an impact. Let us go the different, whether, and I'm making it very clear, this is not the gospel truth. None of the exit polls is ever the gospel truth. That's why I played out the bite of KTR Garu, also Thackeray, all of them right in the beginning. It shouldn't look as if I'm calling out the elections. Saye Sekhar, but as journalist, as political analyst, do you think that the Karnataka factor, the reasons I gave, the 5 guarantees, an OBC as a chief minister, the fighting between DKS and Siddaramaiah, putting a lid on it, also, every factor, do you think it has had a domino effect in Telangana or not?
No.
Wow.
I said no. But there may be a general sense of fatigue, political fatigue, about a government that has been there in the state for 10 years. But then I don't think their 5 guarantees and other things are making any impact. And Karnataka has failed in implementing all those 5 guarantees. And I am not making a statement. We have done a field study and understood that Karnataka is unable to implement that free bus ride to women. Because of that, they have enhanced the price of tickets by 20% for men. This is what, like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And for implementing 200 units free power, Grah Jyoti, or whatever, Grah Lakshmi, I don't know their names, nomenclature, but 200 units of electricity free to a certain category of people. The average price rise for other electricity users is 70 paise per unit. And they are unable to implement this Annabhagya scheme, which is, instead of Annabhagya, because they don't have Food Corporation of India allotment and they don't have rice to give, they are giving money. And Yuva Shakti program has not yet started, and they have advertised, in the Telangana newspaper, Hyderabad newspapers about Karnataka schemes. And for Yuva Shakti scheme, they put 2 professional models and they were called out. So, and 5 guarantees, most of them are Raitu. For example, you take Raitu Bharosa. That is a copycat of Raitu Bandhu, which is the first innovative scheme that is implemented by KCR. So that is not that.
Yeah, you have a good...
Listen, Sudha. these exit polls may have given that indication because of the general fatigue against a
All
political
right.
party that is in power for 10 years.
Yeah, but then fatigue is also a very kind of esoteric term. What is fatigue?
Correct.
I mean, you know, I do not, I mean, I want to believe in data. I want to believe in clear perception to say, oh, there is fatigue, boredom. All this is it really, I mean, I don't believe in it personally as a journalist. One has to dig deep to figure out what happened. Mr. Nag, do you think that the Karnataka factor, the winds were blowing from neighboring Karnataka into Telangana, and one of the reasons for the Congress's resurgence could very well be the Karnataka impact, as it were?
At an overall level, yes. When the Congress did well in Karnataka, it was felt that in neighboring Andhra Pradesh also, in neighboring Telangana also it can do well. But that's not the real reason. The real reason is there's a lot of fatigue against this government. 10 years of Raj by KCR, and people want a change, and therefore the change is here. Now, what do you do in a change? In a change, you vote for another party. Here, the other party available is Congress and not the BJP. So, Congress is getting all the votes. That is the real reason.
Yes.
Fatigue of voters against the existing setup and going for a change. Now, they can't vote for the BJP because it does not exist here. So, they will vote for Congress only. That's
All
how
right.
Congress is winning.
Again, Mr. Nag says it's fatigue, they want a change. But you know, it's more than that. I think there has to be some empirical reasons, I feel, and that's why I've listed it. And I'm happy that my guests, you know, particularly Saye Sekhar, will just explode whatever I say and say you're wrong, Sudha. And that is what is good about a healthy debate in any kind of a format. You know, Roydin, I want to come to you, and not as a supporter of the Congress, because Sai is also not going to speak. When I tell him, he wears the, you know, the hat of a journalist that he is, and very well known and very, very clued into both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Roydin, I'm asking you, the Karnataka factor, I mean, isn't that something which has had an impact on the resurgence of the Congress in Telangana? 1 year ago, we didn't even, no one bothered. It was just the BRS, it was pink everywhere.
Well, good evening, sir, and good evening to all my co-panelists and viewers. See, when we talk about the Karnataka factor, I don't think Karnataka factors anything to do. Maybe about 20% of Karnataka factor, the shadow of it must have fallen over here. But the real fact is the issues that we are having here. When we talk, for example, you talk about the Dalit Bandhu people, hardly 2 or 3% people have received it. So you're telling me what's going to happen when just 2 to 3% of the people receive it. The rest of the 98% or 96% of the people who haven't received it is going to go against the government. So you look at the number of voters over there, what we are looking at Dalit Bandhu, the Dalits. So that is one major impact you can see. Then the other schemes also which have been taken. Recently we had the schemes also which is given about ₹1 lakh or something for it. And the time duration for that was very short, that people were unable to even get the documentation done. Because when you have to apply for an income certificate itself, the income certificate itself takes about 15 days. And you are given hardly about 6 to 7 days.
But that could be common for any,
scheme.
no, Roydin, but that could be common for anything. It is not only the schemes introduced by the BRS. The problem is in the system. We are a large country. To govern it, it's a nightmare.
No, see,
so it is.
No. See, if you have to see, I'll tell you very frankly. If you think you want to implement a system and really want to make it happen, you have to do your homework before that.
All right, that's
just
a good
not
point.
Come out of the blue
yeah,
and
that's a very yeah,
because
that's a very good point to make, that you have to do your homework. You have to make it kind of idiot proof so that everyone can actually, you know, it's easy on you. For instance, I find certain things very tough, and you know, I don't go to platforms which make it tough for me. So you're absolutely right.